Hello everybody, today we're doing a video for GTA car kits in a 2015 Jaguar F-Type, and as you can see we installed our product. It supports Apple CarPlay and Android Auto onto your original screen. You can control it with the original touchscreen. As you can see, it's paired to iPhone wirelessly, and you can also pair it to your Android phone wirelessly. You can easily switch back to the original Jaguar system by pressing the home button. The only thing you're going to notice here that navigation is now disabled. That's done in order to install our product. That's the only way to do it in this particular car. And then you press the nav button, you get Apple CarPlay or Android Auto if you pair your Android phone. And now we're going to show you how to install it in this particular car. To install this product into your car, you will need a T20 Torx, as you see right here. This is our panel removal tool, and this is, we call it the hook tool. So the first thing that you're going to check in this particular car is what version of the stereo you have. It comes with two versions, Bosch and Harman. So this particular car is Bosch, and we're going to show you how to tell them apart. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to pull off this panel and lift it out. And you're going to do that in order to get to this head unit. And you're going to tell it apart from Bosch or Harman by looking at this gray connection here. If you have this big gray connection, that means you have Bosch. This is the car we're going to be installing onto today. And if you have a big black one right here instead of the gray, then it means you have Harman. So the installation would be different, and you would have to reach out to us and it would be a different kit. The whole installation would be done right here, so you wouldn't have to take out the panels like on this car. But this is a Bosch, so we confirmed that. Now we're going to continue with the rest of the installation. So now we're going to begin the installation. First thing we're going to do is you're going to use your panel removal tool. We're going to remove this piece above the screen. So you're going to stick your tool in here. And once it lifts up, you can use your fingers to get the rest of it out. And there's just clips holding it in. Next, there's the same silver piece but below the screen. And for this, we'll use our hook tool to get here, right behind the corner. And we'll pull it out, and here you're gonna see the 4 clips that hold it in. Now we will remove the silver trim around the gear selector. So again, with our tool, you will get underneath. Once it's up, you can just use your fingers to get the rest of it out. See here, there's 2 connections. So one of them you'll need to press the clip, and then this one for the start button, you just pull it out because it doesn't have any clips. So now we will start removing the T20 Torx. So there's 2 on top here, then there's 2 below the screen. There's 1 right here and 1 right there. Somebody already broke something here, so that's why it's missing, but your car should have it. And then there's 2 more below. There's 1 right here and over there. So now we're going to remove them all. So now with the bolts removed, you can grab this HVAC control panel, and there's just 1 wire here that you have to press the clip on it in order to disconnect it. The clip is right here. Now we can grab this panel, and here also there's 1 connection with the clip. You'll press the clip and remove it. Now there's again bolts that hold the screen in, so there's 2 on each side, and they also use the same T20 which we used before. So now we're gonna go ahead and remove them. So now we're going to show you what you're going to receive in the kit, because we removed all this stuff in order to connect everything. So first thing you're going to see is the Wi-Fi antenna. Then there's our main module, and this is a USB cable for wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto. And then here you have the main harness. So this end gets plugged into the module. Then there's the smaller end gets plugged in to the back of the screen, and this big connection gets plugged in at the back of the head unit, which we showed you earlier. And there's also a video cable which we're going to connect at the back of the screen. To continue with the installation, now we have to remove this panel on the side of the center console from the passenger side. So you can use your fingers or you can use your panel removal tool. You usually start from the middle, work your way all the way to the front, and then it comes out. This is the last clip that you have to undo before you remove the whole thing. Here you're gonna peel back the carpet and remove this piece of foam, because we're gonna be hiding our module right here once we do all the connections. So now we're gonna take our harness, and as we showed you earlier, it has small end and a big end. We'll take the small end, and we'll take our video cable. 2 things we have to get behind our screen, and to do that there's an opening here which we will feed our cables through. So we have 1, then this is the second one. And if you look right here, you're going to see a hole. This is the hole that we use to feed these two wires through. Now you can take your screen, and we're going to do two connections here. So as you see, this blue wire, we're just going to disconnect. So this will disable your original navigation. And now we'll plug in our cable instead. And over here, we'll disconnect this original connection and plug in our harness here. And the other end of the original harness, we will plug in into the female end from our harness. And at this point, you can just put the screen back. So this is the big end of our harness, and this one we have to get to the head unit, which we showed you in the beginning of the video. So this wire will go along here. You just have to put it in nicely, and then we will stretch it and bring this cable all the way back to the head unit. At the back of the head unit, you will take the original connection, you will press on the clip and disconnect it, and you can plug it in to the female end of our harness. And then the male harness will plug in instead of the original one. And then you can just tuck the wire here, and that's done. So now we're going to do all the connections to our module. So first we'll plug in our video cable, then we will plug in the power harness. On the other end there's the Wi-Fi antenna. This is for wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. And then the last thing is this USB cable. Once you connected everything, we will hide everything right here. You can just peel back carpet. Also, if your car doesn't have original rear view camera, it's easy to add because we have the required RCAs and the power cables for the camera. So you will tuck everything here. We'll also put the antenna there. The location is good for it. Then you just end up with one USB wire, which we'll just leave here, because once we put the panel back, you're just gonna have it show up a little bit. So you will tuck all the wires in, and before bolting everything, we're just gonna test everything. And in order to test, you have to connect some of the things back, like this HVAC control, because without it the system will not function properly. Then you'll also need to plug in this panel back with all the controls on it. And the last thing you have to plug in order to test is the start button. So we will take our iPhone and we'll connect it by the wire initially. In order to test everything, we'll turn on the ignition. So everything has to power on. Once the radio powers on, you're gonna see that it's set to auxiliary. This is the mode to use in order to hear stuff from Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. And as you can see here, the navigation still shows, but it's empty because in order to install our product, it will replace the original navigation. Now we will press and hold the nav button and you get Apple CarPlay, and you're gonna test the touchscreen. So the touchscreen is working. Next you're gonna test the music. So the music is working, that's great. And in order to switch to the original Jaguar system, you're just gonna press the home button and hear everything as it was before. So now that you tested everything, you can assemble everything back. So first thing we're gonna do is reinstall the 4 bolts that hold the screen in. Then you can put in this panel and connect it again. Now this is your HVAC panel. Again, you're just gonna connect it. So you have to make sure that all the bolt holes line up, and they do. And now we can put all of these bolts back. Next we have to reconnect this connection and the one for the start button. And to put it back in, you have to tilt it. First you clip it in there and then work your way down. Next is this piece of trim, just clips back on. And then the one on top. Then over here you have to put back this piece of the center console. So you start with this edge and you'll push it towards the back of the car, because this edge has to clip in first. Once you clip it in, you have to line up the clips. And here, as we mentioned, the USB cable, where it's going to hang out from. So once everything is clipped in, you just tuck in the USB like that. And the last panel that we're going to reinstall back is this one that covers the head unit. You'll first put in the bottom, and then push the two clips. So as you can see, everything now is assembled. You have Apple CarPlay. You can easily switch back to the original system. This was a video for GTA Car Kits in a 2015 Jaguar F-Type. I hope you liked the video, and we'll see you next time.